All right, here are the concepts of domain and range. The word domain means all the x values in a given situation. We're going to talk about points, graphs, and tables today, and then we'll see even more tomorrow. Range is all the y values, and there's only two rules. You list them in order from least to greatest, and there's no repeats. You don't list repeats. If there's more than 3, for example, as an x value, you just list it once. All right? So let's take a look at some examples. Here's a set of points. Domain is all the x values, always. So this is the domain right here. 3, -2, 0, and -5. So I'm going to list it in order from least to greatest. And what I do is I use these brackets. So I always list domain and range in these brackets. Okay, and the least, so I'm going least to greatest. I'm going to start with the least number, which is -5. The next biggest number is -2, right? I can picture a number line. There would be a 0 right here on my number line, and the negative numbers would go this way, and the positive numbers would go this way. So there's my domain. Those are all my x values. My range is all my y values. So my range is here, 7, 4, 4, and 3. Again, I'm going to list it in brackets. I list it from least to greatest. The smallest number here is 3. There are 2 4s, but I do not list them twice because my second rule is no repeats. And so my range is 3, 4, and 7. Those are all my y values. So in these points, my x values are here and my y values are here. Notice they don't necessarily match up. That's not what it is. These are all the possible x values and all the possible y values. Notice in this case, because there was a repeat in the y, there's only 3 possible y values, even though there are 4 x values. Here's example number 2. Again, the domain is all the x values. The easiest way to find the domain on a graph is just to look from left to right, right? I could write out, like what I could do is I could write out each of these points. I could say, oh, this point is -2, 1, and this point is 2, 1, and then I could do just exactly what I did here. That would totally work, but there's an easier way. Domain, I'm just looking at the x values of each of these points. So I'm just going to go from left to right because that's where I would find the x values in order from least to greatest. And remember that as I look for the x values, I should be looking at the x-axis. That's where I would find the x values. So what's the x value of this point? -2. So brackets, -2, comma, what's the x value of this point? -1. And what's the x value of this point? 2. That's the domain. Those are the x values. For the range, those are the y values. So this time, if I want to go from least to greatest, I'm going to go from the bottom to the top, right? Here are the least y values and the greatest y values up here. And this time, I'm looking for y values, so I'm looking at the y-axis. So the y value of this point is right here, -2. Start with my bracket. The y value of this point is 1, and this one also. I just list it once because, remember, my second rule is no repeats. So here, my domain has 3 values, and my range has 2 because of the repeat. All right, let's look at this table. Here are all the x values. Here are all the y values. I'm literally just listing them in order. For my x values, -4, 2. There's a repeat there. I don't list the 2 twice. And for my range, let's list these in order from least to greatest. -2, 3, and 7. And that's it.